Welcome, baseball family, to another episode of the Baseball Together podcast. This week, we're going to talk opening day, and then we're going to get into a bunch of meaningless predictions right now. 9+Us presents the Baseball Together podcast with your hosts, Blackjack Brad and Kansas City Little Big Briggy Blue Eyes. And now, Baseball Together. Baseball family, we're really glad that you're here with us this week. I am Brig, and as always, I got my boy Brad in the house.
How's it going, Brig?
It's great, man. It's great. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
It's a good week. It's a good week,
Listen,
Brig.
we got a bunch of good going on, and I just don't think that my glee is unjustified because it is opening day week, everybody. Oh.
Yep.
I'm so excited.
I couldn't be any more excited, to be honest with you. Like, I actually lost track of the days over the weekend. I was like, it's a week from Thursday. And then I looked at the calendar. I was like, no, that's this week.
That's this
week. That would have been bad.
It's this one, Brad. We have waited so long.
I know.
The long, cold winter with full of meetings. It's over. Spring training is over. We have raised stitching on the baseballs. It's here. This is great.
New baseballs. It's a new baseball, new year for new baseballs, and it's going to be interesting to see how that affects things. I'll be keeping my eye out for sure.
Yeah.
Most certainly.
Me too. Me too. Very excited. We'll keep you abreast of the situation right here, baseball family. So let's get into the opening day games that you can watch. Are these all on ESPN?
This is ESPN's quadruple header, yes.
Right. Okay. So opening day schedule, Thursday, April 1st. It's on April Fool's Day. If it would be the most elaborate April Fool's prank ever if they jerk this away from us. I might actually die.
I don't think you would be the only one. Let's be real.
No, that would be terrible. All right, so the Blue Jays will be in the Bronx at 1 p.m. Eastern. The Dodgers will be in Denver at 4 p.m. Eastern. The Mets will be in the capital city, 7 p.m. Eastern, to face off against the Nats. And the Astros will be in Oakland, 10 p.m. Eastern. All on ESPN. They're not paying us to say it that way either. I'm telling you, that's a true thing. So
true fact. Yeah, that's right.
That's a true fact.
Well,
so
and keep in mind these aren't the only games that day. Everybody's playing on April 1st. They're not doing some special opening where they have 4 or 6 or 8 teams playing. Everybody's playing. Yes. Everybody's playing on April 1st.
These are just the ones we think would be easiest for you guys all to watch. You know, pick your poison. But this is. I'll tell you, I know where I'll be at 1 p.m. at work.
Yeah. Likewise. It's 10 a.m. here when that game starts, Brig. I'm going to have baseball for just about my entire work day.
No, you lucky.
I have to get through a couple hours to start, but after that, smooth sailing and low production. How about that?
Oh, yeah. I'm clearing. I got most of my schedule cleared already for that afternoon. I'll be there. You know, somebody got a dumpster fire or something they need me to put out, but, you know, I got one headphone in too, you know?
Definitely.
That's right. All right, so one of the things we wanted to bring to your attention, baseball family, is that if you are a T-Mobile user, as I am, and you have the T-Mobile Tuesday app, which you should if you're a T-Mobile user, then they're giving away free MLB TV again. And honestly, this is about the best reason I'm with T-Mobile. I mean, there are a couple, but honestly, I have not jumped ship because they give me free baseball every year for like the last 3 or 4 years.
I'm totally there with you because we're probably going to be switching our plan here coming up the next year. And I was like, well, T-Mobile's the only option. Like, that's the only place to go because of that.
It's a huge deal.
So,
it just is.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And their coverage network is getting bigger and more robust anyway. So, I don't know. Oranges and oranges, I suppose. But baseball for free, I'm telling you. That doesn't get better than that.
Time.
So, That'll be this morning for those of you listening on today's show. That's this morning. It's available, I think, at like 7 a.m. Eastern or something like that. You can jump on and get at it. So we wanted to bring that to your attention.
Right on. Very good.
Yes, sir.
All right. We do have a few current events, Brig. Let's go ahead and get into those real quick. Okay. So, in your words, you told me that the Yankees are already a MASH unit.
Oh, yeah.
Let's explore this.
No.
Conundrum, if you will. Who all do we have with the Yankees that are injured already?
Luke Voit. Luke Voigt's injured.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to bring in a new. They signed. Get ready, Jay Bruce. They signed Jay Bruce to come in and play first base in the interim while we wait for Luke Voit to get healthy. It's fine. It's gonna be fine. What is wrong with Mike Ford? Is he just not that good or something down at AAA? I don't understand. Okay, I'm confused. Maybe
that might be the issue, is that he's a minor leaguer and they don't want to have a minor leaguer in there.
Right.
Maybe
no, I understand that. But he's come up a handful of times in the past and he's held his own. I mean, not great, but I wonder what Jay Bruce will do that's different. That's all I'm saying. Promote from within.
I don't know. I have a question for you real quick, Brig, before we move on. How old do you think Jay Bruce is?
32?
You're off by one. He's 33.
Is he 33?
He's been around. He's 33. He's been around for so long, though. I could have swore that dude was like 38 or 39 years old.
Oh, for sure. Well, when we were talking about it earlier, I said, does he still play baseball?
Yeah. Well, I was like, he's not that old. I didn't know how old he was. I know he was somewhere around my age. I was a little bit familiar with that much. Yeah. But I did not realize that he was a couple years younger, in fact. But,
well, he was the number one draft pick for Cincinnati in 2005, wasn't he? I saw that earlier.
And he came up and he made his debut, I believe, in 2008. And if I'm remembering this story right, I heard it on SportsCenter. So he was like the new kid in town, like the new hot thing in Cincinnati when he came up, right? He was like the Reds' future. And Griffey was still playing there. And, Griffey was getting to be the veteran guy in the clubhouse, everything like that. And I guess one day he brought donuts. And Jay Bruce went to walk out of the clubhouse, and they're like, "You gonna come get some donuts?" He's like, "No, I gotta go stretch." And Griffey's like, "You kidding me? I didn't start stretching until like last year. Now I just gotta stretch to get out of bed." That story, that Jay Bruce story, has stuck with me for what's it been now? 14 years, 13 years.
Yeah,
that's my first impression of Jay Bruce with playing with Griffey, and I thought that was hilarious.
That is hilarious. What did he do last year with Philadelphia? He was with Philly last year. Looks like he went. Just looking it up really quick. 32
Was he platooning?
Games. Huh?
I'm sure he was platooning in Philadelphia.
Yeah, 32 games, batted 198. Oh, great. 252, 198, 252, 469 with an OPS at 721. So, really interesting to see what.
So this is the thing I learned with Jay Bruce when he was in Seattle a couple of years ago, because he was with Seattle for pretty much the first half of the 2019 season.
Yeah.
He was there when the Mariners got off to the really, really hot start where they won, like, they were like 21-3 or something like that.
Yeah, right. Daniel Vogelbach
the wheels fell off.
Smashing it. Yeah.
Yeah, and the wheels fell off, and Jerry DePoto decided, like, okay, we're not winning for sure now. Let's just trade away all the veterans. So Jay Bruce is one of those guys, but this is the thing. He struck out a ton.
Yeah.
Like a ton. But he also hit a lot of home runs.
Yeah.
Which I understand is kind of the way things go these days.
Sure.
But he hit the home runs when we needed them.
That's nice. It's making me feel a little bit better.
And he hit a lot of home runs during that winning stretch. So and he was, I could tell he was a guy in the clubhouse who everybody liked, and I think that might be part of the reason why the Yankees are bringing him in. He's a chemistry guy.
Well, I like that.
He understands his role now that he's not the same as he used to be. He's probably going to bat around the Mendoza line, but he's going to be a good guy in the clubhouse to have around. He's a leader.
That makes sense. Because if you look at his 2020 WAR,
not good.
It's .2. Okay, that's enough of Jay Bruce. All right, who else is dying in New York right now? Luis Severino, Tommy John, Justin Wilson, left-handed pitcher, also having problems. Miguel Andujar, we all know who that is. Zach Britton, I haven't heard that name in 3 days. Clark Schmidt, right-handed pitcher, and no big deal. We brought up we signed another catcher, to kind of backfill the depth there, and he's already on the injured list, Robinson Chirinos.
Oh my gosh.
So that's pretty cool.
Here's the thing, Brig. Here's the thing. Okay, so this is now given the Yankees' track record. I don't know if this will necessarily be the case with these injury issues, but I always look at it this way. I would rather have a guy come out of spring training hurt and then have him spend some extra time on the IL to get fully healthy for June, July, August, and moving on. But in the meantime, though, you can't. They say you can't win a division in April or May, but you can definitely lose one. You don't want to dig yourself too deep of a hole, so you got to bring in quality guys.
Yeah.
Who can kind of keep up the morale and keep things moving on, keep you within striking distance when those guys do come back, so that it's not too deep of a hole to dig out of, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, Robinson Chirinos in 2020 played for 3 teams. And his WAR just in 2020 was a negative .8. So, you're right. Bring in quality guys. It's a great.
They're not all quality guys. How's that?
I mean, you just need depth or whatever. It's so
Sometimes
funny
you just
because
have to get bodies out on the field.
In your TikTok video this week, you were like, "Why do I hate the Yankees?" Well, let me tell you, we just buy all the players. I'm telling. Listen, this is not what that is, Brad. This is middle market stuff right here.
That is mid to low market stuff there, yes. But historically, that's been the case, and it's just off the rails here for just a minute. It is interesting to see that there are more guys who actually don't want to go play in New York.
Oh, yeah. Plenty. Yeah.
That's not necessarily the case anymore, that there are other teams who can pay guys other than just the Yankees, because the Yankees don't seem like they're just throwing the checkbook at everybody like George Steinbrenner used to. It seems like they're a little more financially responsible these days.
That's exactly right. Well, and again, like you're saying, some guys are like, no, I don't want to play in New York.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly reasonable. I mean, well, we've talked about it a million times, but yes, it's not. It's no longer like the cathedral you want to be, worshiping in anymore for everybody. Yep. So, and we're going to move past that metaphor right now. So King Felix, signed a deal with Baltimore, and I guess he opted out of it. Brad, King Felix, he's your guy. Can you tell us a little bit more about this?
He is my guy. So he signed him. So last year he signed a minor league deal with the Braves.
Yeah.
When it came time to make the decision to play the season or not, he opted out. So he sat out last year.
Yep.
And then this year again, he signed a minor league deal with the Orioles. He came in spring training, was ready to, because basically what he's saying is he's like, I got some more work to do if I'm going to make the Hall of Fame. I got to pad some numbers. So he sounds like he's like ready to go anywhere that's going to give him a chance. However, this is the issue. The King has had elbow issues for a very long time. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly when it was, but it's been a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it's really flared up this spring on him, and he hasn't pitched since like the beginning of the month. I want to say like end of February, beginning of March. He hasn't pitched. So I don't know if this is going to be it for him, because he's had that elbow issue for a long time. He's managed to get by on a changeup.
Right.
But if that's not the case anymore, and if that elbow's giving him a problem, he might finally be due for some Tommy John. And he's 35 years old. If he's not 35, he will be in the next 10 minutes. And so he's So he's getting up there for sure. And for a guy to have Tommy John surgery with the way his career trajectory has gone,
Try to come back.
I don't see him being able to make a comeback.
No
so
way.
This could be the end of the reign for the king, officially.
Well, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
So it's a bummer. It's a bummer. He did not have the career that he could have, which is really disappointing. That if this is it for him, he won a Cy Young with a losing record because he's on a terrible Mariners team that could not score, just could not get anybody past the plate. So it's a bummer that he's never really been in a situation where he could win. Last year he had the chance at the Braves, but he opted out because of COVID. Yep. And who knows, maybe his elbow was giving him trouble then too.
Could be.
But yeah, it's really been a sad state for Felix Hernandez the last couple of years.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe, I just watched a great baseball documentary about a 12-year-old boy who slips on a baseball and breaks his arm, and then after months of sitting in a cast, his tendons fuse a little tightly, and then long story short, at the very end, like he pitches for the Cubs, and it's really wonderful storytelling, and then he gets to the end and he can't do it anymore. He loses the magic, right? Kind of like King Felix in this situation. He ended up throwing a changeup as well. So then when the changeup didn't work, he threw a floater pitch. Maybe King Felix just needs to come back, throw floater pitches.
There you go.
It was in the documentary.
Not sure how legal the floater pitch is. It was, yes.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with that one. I've seen it once or twice.
Pretty good.
But maybe he needs to be, is it an aphis pitch? Is that how you say that? Aphis?
I don't know. What?
I mean, I think you can throw an inning as an aphis pitcher where it's like the big lob, and it's like, I think it has to be like under 55 miles an hour or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah. I think he could do an inning, I'm sure, as an aphis pitcher.
He could. I didn't know that was the term for it.
Talk to Zach. Talk to Zach Greinke about that. He's pretty good at it.
Amazing. Well, we'll call them both and see if we can get a Zoom meeting with the two of them on and kind of go through it. Maybe they can set up a time. We'll facilitate the introduction. That's what we'll do.
There we go. Perfect.
But before we do that, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk completely meaningless predictions for the rest of the season.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back with me. Root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Shop kids' baseball shirts at 9pluss.com.
Welcome back, baseball family. We have a whole raft of meaningless predictions. I almost said infinite predictions, but these are meaningless. They are not infinite. And we're going to get through them. We're going to go. We're going to do awards first, and then we're going to go and we're going to do division and playoff races. And when we're done here, you're going to know who we think is going to win the World Series. And I'm very sorry for whoever I pick, because that probably means that your team will not win the World Series this year.
Yeah, Brad's got bad luck.
Yeah, lots of it. That's why I don't gamble.
Oh, man. All right, so
because I typically bet on the runner-up. So okay,
oh, interesting.
Here we go.
I wonder who you've chosen then. We haven't talked about it. Okay, all right. We'll get into it.
That's true.
Let's start with MVPs.
Okay, here we go. Let's start with the MVP.
Yeah.
Yep. You go ahead first with your MVPs, Brig. Who do you got?
The American League MVP, I got Tim Anderson.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then National League MVP is going to be Fernando Tatis Jr.
You're probably right.
I know I am. Thanks.
I can't believe I didn't pick him.
Who did you get?
Well, so in the AL, I think Mike Trout's going to have another good year this year, and he's going to win it because he's like the Peyton Manning, like in the NFL, it was, we don't know who to give it to. well, Peyton Manning played this year. Let's give it to him. And it's kind of like Mike Trout. There's a bunch of guys who were really good. Was Mike Trout good? Yeah, let's give it to him. All right. So I got Mike Trout in the AL.
Yep.
And then in the NL, I've actually got Juan Soto.
Ooh, that was my second choice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you hear everybody talking about this guy, that he's like the power hitting Tony Gwynn.
Right. Yeah.
That he's got better plate discipline, better feel for the zone than anybody out there, and he's got the plate discipline to go with it.
Yep.
And so I've got Juan Soto as my MVP. If he doesn't win it, I think Tatis Jr. is going to win it.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
For no other reason than the guy's got it there.
Yeah, it's got a lot of flair. Well, and his defensive game is hot to trot too. So,
well, he's just so good. He's outstanding. I mean, he gets on the bases, he's going to score. He's going to do it however he has to.
Yep.
All right, should we go into Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, you go first this time because we're going to agree on our AL Rookie of the Year.
Are you sure? Okay, I'll start with NL then. Got Dylan Carlson with the St. Louis Cardinals.
Ooh, really?
He played about 30 games last year, and he did pretty well. He hit about 200, but he had 3 home runs, and then in the postseason he actually did pretty well too. He drew some walks, got on base, and just kind of did what he needed to do. But I think that he's a guy who can come out and have a great year this year for the Cardinals. And then American League, you're probably right, Brig. I've got Jared Kelenic.
Yeah, right. That's who I have to.
And if for no other reason than he's on a revenge tour this year against his own front office.
That's exactly right.
That I'm going to be very, very good, and you're going to have to pay me all of the American dollars if you want me to stick around when the time comes.
All of the American dollars.
So I have a feeling that's how he's going to be.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I agree with you.
All right. Who do you have in the NL?
I have Cabrian Hayes for Pittsburgh, third baseman, Pittsburgh. I think he's going to be Rookie of the Year in the National League. 24 years old, played 15 games last season, but look at this line. Batting average 413, OBP 449, slugging 696 with an OPS of 1.145 in 15 games with 49 plate appearances. It's obviously limited sample size. That is literally the only 15 games he's played. Those are the only games he's played in the bigs, but he's going to break out this year. It's going to be his Rookie of the Year season. That's what I think.
Well, and those 15 games make a big difference. It's like with Carlson, that 30 games is going to make a big difference for his development this year. We saw it with Kyle Lewis last year. He got called up. He got to play through pretty much all of September in 2019, and then he hit the ground running in 2020 and won the MVP or the Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year, yeah.
So, yeah. So I would not be surprised if either one of these guys win it because they have that experience under their belt already. It's a big deal. It's a really big deal.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm excited to see what happens there. Brad, who you got for the Cy Young?
Okay. I kind of went default again with the National League. I'm going Jacob deGrom. And then in the AL, I've got Tyler Glasnow.
Tyler Glasnow. Oh, wow.
He had a really good spring, and he's a really good pitcher.
Agreed.
You know, he's another guy for the Tampa Bay Rays to pull out when they have a lead in the 5th inning.
I agree.
They're going to do it, and they're going to lose. But but I think he's a guy who has the stuff. He's such a good pitcher that I think that what he brings to the eye test will be enough for him to win a Cy Young award, because I think the Rays are going to take a step back this year, and I think he's going to be the guy who is like the really big bright spot in the starting rotation and does a lot of really good things for them.
So for almost all the same reasons you've said, first of all, I agree with you. Jacob deGrom is going to win it in the National League, but my American League choice is Garrett Cole, and it's not as much homerism as it might sound like. I really do believe he has a fighting chance of being the Cy Young Award winner, and if they go as deep into the playoffs as I think they will, and up against the other injuries that the lineup is already seeing in New York right now, I think that he is, just like you said, going to be the bright spot, and he will continue to shine the whole season long, and that will put him above.
Yeah, I think Garrett Cole's a legitimate pick. I wouldn't I wouldn't think of that as a homer pick at all. Like if I had picked Marco Gonzalez, that would be a homer
Right.
pick because he is in the top 5 as far as the betting
Sure.
odds go, but he's still considered a long shot. Garrett Cole's the leader right now as far as the betting odds go.
And Tyler Glasnow is not far.
Yeah.
Wasn't he in second or third place or something as far as Vegas?
I want to say he
Third
was
place?
third.
That's what I
think
thought.
he was
Yeah.
third. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not.
Yeah,
those are great. That's a great pick as well. And you're right. They are going to take a step back this year. Boom. I agree with you. Totally. That's more overlap. We love this when this happens.
It happens all the time.
Okay. So
All right.
manager of the year. This is my favorite
This is a
part. I'm
tough
really
one.
excited about this one because this was not easy for me until I was like, oh, man. Oh, yeah, it is. So tell me, Brad, who do you have in the National League for manager of the year?
In the National League, I have Joe Girardi.
What?
Yep, because I think they're gonna figure things out in Philly, and they're gonna do really well, and they're gonna go to the playoffs, and they're gonna have. I think they're gonna have a really good year this year.
No.
Their biggest weakness is that bullpen. I was talking to our friend Jason. He's one of the hosts of the Not Another Sports podcast, and also a co-host of our Philly Baseball Together podcast, dropping this week. But he was saying, he's like, this team was really good. All they had to do last year to make the playoffs was go 2-6 down the stretch, and they went 1-7. They had a bad stretch of games, 60 games into the season.
Just like a normal
And they
season,
didn't make the
right?
playoffs. Yeah, I feel like that's a team that would have made
sure.
the playoffs last year. They would have righted the ship. They would have come back around. They
Yes.
would have made it. They're a good team, and I think Joe Girardi is going to get some credit for putting together a good season this year.
Dude, I think that's a solid pick. Honestly,
Thank you.
That's really good. That's really good.
Who do you
My
have?
National League is Jace Tingler, San Diego Padres. I think what's going to happen is they're going to look at all the deals they put together and in this offseason, and they're going to look at all of the young talent that they have, and they're going to go deep this year, and he's going to get it.
Now, I could see him winning it if they win the West. But I think, honestly, most of the credit's going to go to the GM, AJ Preller. I think he would probably win Executive of the Year if that's what happens.
Oh, for
Because of
sure,
the
the
deals they
deals.
put
Yeah.
together.
But I think that because of the circumstances, at least that I putting them in through the playoffs, they're going to be up against it a little bit, and they're going to come out on top. So, yeah, this pick was based largely on my playoff setup. Look, based on
there you
my
go.
meaningless predictions, which we're going to get into right now, right? Should we take a break and then come back and talk about that?
Let's
Oh,
do
freak.
AL
Yeah,
first.
you're
We're
right.
gonna do AL, and then we'll take a break.
So, okay.
So go ahead, Brig. Who do you have for the AL manager?
Tony
of the
La
year?
Russa.
Oh, you know what? I came really close.
Did you
to
really?
picking Tony La Russa. I did. Yeah. Tell me why you
So
picked La Russa.
obviously he's 1,000,000 years old, and that's he's 76.
At least.
All right, and I actually think he might turn 77 this year. Anyway, the point is he's 76 years old. They brought him in for reasons nobody really knows yet to Chicago, and it at the time it was like we just need somebody. We just need a manager and we need a manager who can handle all of this enormous talent. And there weren't very many options. So here comes Tony La Russa. And again, based on what I have Chicago doing in my playoff format, I think that he is going to deserve some very substantial credit.
Okay, I can see that, and that's actually all the same reasons that I almost picked him. But the other thing too with me though is that the White Sox feel like they're ready to win now. They've proven to everyone that they have the talent to win, and if they do, and when they do win, it's kind of what was expected right? They brought in La Russa as the next step to take this team to the next level. Is that they developed everybody to the point where they're ready to win. They're like, okay, now we need a winning manager, and they brought in La Russa for that reason. And that's the only reason I didn't pick him, is because that's his job, is to win.
Right, but if he successfully does that, if they were
right, and that's what I'm saying is that
I know
is that they're expected to, and that's why he wouldn't. That's the only reason I said that he wouldn't get it. Instead, I'm gonna go with a long shot homer pick. I am gonna pick Scott Service as AL Manager of the Year, because he's gonna lead a team that is very, very young, very young, to a winning record. That is not supposed to have a winning record. They're going to win 85 games or something like that, and it's going to be, nobody will have seen it coming, except for the people who were paying attention.
Wow. Why don't you
That's why
I have
Scott
a question
Service is
for
going to
you.
win it.
How
I have an answer
is
for
the
you.
view from the tower that you're clearly in? Nobody will see it coming unless you're paying attention.
It's a little foggy. It's a little foggy, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, I'll bet it is. Oh, man. All right, baseball family, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to get into our ridiculous playoff structures that we think you might, maybe stand a chance of seeing in the late parts of this season. We'll be right back.
I'm Jason.
And I'm David, and we're the hosts of the Non-North Sports Podcast. We're the home of sports talk for everyone. Join us bi-weekly as we talk about the happenings in sports.
You can find the Non-North Sports Podcast on Anchor.fm, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and wherever else you find your podcasts.
Welcome back, baseball family. As we have repeatedly mentioned, we are going to get into our playoff breakdowns for the 2021 season, which, as I have to plug, comes before the collective bargaining agreement is renegotiated at the end of the 2021 season. I will not let you forget. Okay, Brad. Now, for 2021, we already know the playoff structure. It's going to be the 3 division champions and then
The two
wildcard teams.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. So there'll be 5 teams competing in each of the leagues and then all the way up to the World Series. So let's start with the American League. Brad, you often say you move east to west. So do I. So who do you have winning AL East, Central, West, and coming in the 2 wildcard teams?
Okay, so winning the AL East, I have the New York Yankees. Just because they really are way more talented than everybody else, and it's like I said before, I don't think that these injuries are going to have a long-term effect on anything. If anything, it'll be positive, because guys will be back and healthy when it's time to make a run, and they will already be, their season will be starting a month, maybe 2 months into the season, so they'll have fresher legs than everybody else,
depending on who it is. Yeah.
So I got the Yankees. Who do you have?
Toronto.
Oh. Okay.
I think the injuries will be more of a problem than we think. I think they'll persist until a third of the way through the season or so, and then there's going to be a late all-star break kind of hop for injury. I don't know who it'll be, but I think somebody will, or maybe we'll figure out that Giancarlo Stanton doesn't need to be playing baseball or at that time. Something will happen, and there will be a roster change midway through the season, right around the break, and then those hiccups will derail things just enough to give Toronto room to take it. And it'll only be by a couple of games, but it's going to happen.
Okay. Cool. All right, should we go to the Central?
It'll be close. The Central.
Who do you have for the Central?
Chicago.
I have Chicago as well. And it's basically all the reasons that I just said about Tony La Russa, is that they're expected to win. They're the best team in the division.
Easily the best team.
And a potential
not
MVP with Tim Anderson.
I agree with that. You know it.
Yeah. I know you agree with that.
Yeah, man, he's gonna break all the way wide open this season. Just you wait, man. He's now got the support. Yes, it's gonna be great.
For sure. He does.
Who do you have in the West?
I have Oakland winning the West.
Whoa, seriously?
Seriously, yep. I believe that Houston. I think George Springer was a big piece of that team. There were very few guys in the league who could lead off the way he did. Like, he set the tone for the entire game. I read a stat on my Seattle Baseball Together podcast last week, and I recorded last week. It's going to come out this week. That George Springer had like 40-something career leadoff home runs in the first inning.
Right.
Like, that's a big deal.
That's amazing.
That is a really big deal.
Amazing.
That is a mood setter, and it's going to get the rest of the team off. Like, especially if you start off on the road, it's like, okay, one pitch, we're up 1-0. What now? You know.
Yep.
Nothing kills a team's morale more than starting out with the second pitch already being down 1-0.
Totally.
So I think he's going to be a major loss and a big deal in that clubhouse. So I think the Astros are going to take a step back, and the A's will win the division. Who do you have?
I have Anaheim winning the division, actually.
Whoa. Really?
I know. And partly, not all the way, but partly because I really want this to happen. I'm going to be honest. I think it will be tough against Oakland. I agree with everything you said about Houston. Totally. But I think that Mad Dog Madden's going to find a way to bring it together and get creative. And now that two-time Ohtani or whatever. It is. That's his name Ohtani. Now. What did you say?
Two-time TJ Ohtani.
Yeah, he's gonna. We're gonna get more out of him this season than we have in the past. Mike Trout's gonna keep doing his thing, and somehow we're gonna pull it together, or they're gonna pull it together, and it's gonna be one of those magical seasons over there in Anaheim.
Okay.
I can't tell you more.
I don't need you to. I will say this.
We'll get to it.
I will say this though, is that I feel like Ohtani is like the one good piece they have on the entire pitching staff, though.
Oh yeah, but they're not terrible.
No, they're not terrible. But like, you can't trot a guy out every 5 or 6 days and expect the team to respond and win every one of those games, much less carry over and win every 2 or 3 games after that.
Right.
And that's my big thing. Why I still have the Angels down 4th in the division.
Yeah, and I mean that makes sense. But there could be some trades coming up. There could be, who knows? But I think that they're going to win just enough games. But I think it'll be edged out. It'll be close. It's not going to be. They're not going to run away with anything. They're going to fight for it.
Yeah, it'll be a good race either way. I think the West is going to be a good division to watch this year.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, who are your wild card picks?
Okay, I have Toronto and Houston as my wild card.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I think Toronto's going to be really good. I mean, I think we all do. I mean, you have them winning the division. I just think that they're not going to. I don't think they're going to be able to withstand a late season push by the Yankees to hold the division. But I think they'll have enough of a lead over everybody else in the wild card that they'll be able to take the wild card.
See, and I feel exactly the same way about New York. They're going to get my wild card slot here because they're the hiccups that they're going to experience partway through, and these ones that they're already in the middle of are going to leave them, just like I said, it's going to be a couple of games. It's going to be close, but they'll still beat out everybody else, and they're going to take that wild card slot pretty easy. It's not even going to be a question.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the AL East is going to be one of those ones where it's like, okay, 1, 2 are going to go to the playoffs, and then everybody else in the league, everybody else in the American League, will just fall in line after that. But my other team, Houston, like I said, I think they're going to take a step back, and that's because they're not going to run away with the division this year. Last year, I think I've said this several times. I don't feel like Houston is truly truly a sub 500 team last year. They started off really slow because they were dealing with a lot of, in the cleaned up words of Crash Davis, they're dealing with a lot of crap. And I think once they finally got things sorted out and righted everything, that they kind of got back on track. And I think they probably still would have won 90 games last year if it was a full season.
something like that. Yeah.
85 to 90 games. So I still think they're a pretty good team, but they're not going to be the dominant force that we've seen in the AL West over the last few years.
See, it's so funny you say that because my next wild card selection comes in for almost all the same reason. That's Tampa Bay.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that. Yeah, I see Tampa Bay just losing that much momentum. Right, it's just enough to beat Houston, and not enough to take. Obviously, not in the East, but I think they're gonna contend anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to have to beat Houston to do it.
Yeah, well, and it's like we were saying, the AL East is going to be very good. I mean, you're obviously insinuating that by picking the Rays, that's going to be a really tough division to win between those three teams.
Yeah, but they're going to be that much better. All three of those teams are also going to be that much better than everyone else in the American League.
Yeah, and I could see that. I could see that happening for sure. Definitely.
So that's why I have it broken down this way. Yeah.
All right. Should we move over to the National League?
Yep, we got to move over there.
Okay. Let's continue National League East. Who you got in the National League East?
The Mets.
The Mets?
The Mets.
You don't think they're going to find a way to Met the bed?
No. No, I think that Francisco Lindor somehow is going to bring some magic, and they've been building plenty of momentum. And if you watch them in spring training, there's tons of chemistry going on, tons. And I'm like, man, there's smiles on those faces, and that goes a long way. So I really do think the East is going to be rough in the National League, but I think the Mets are going to pull it out.
Okay.
You got fine. Philly.
I got Philly. Initially, I did not. Actually, on my notes right here, I do not have Philly, but I'm actually bumping them up. I'm going to take Philly.
Who did you have first?
I'll tell you, they're my wild card team. We'll get there.
Oh, okay. All right, that's fine.
But yeah, I've got Philly.
They're in my wild card too.
Because I think they're gonna recover this year. Yes, yeah. I've said it 1,000 times. A trouble bullpen is a huge issue. But if going into the offseason, this was our only weakness, let's figure it out. I feel like you can come back the next year and be dangerous, especially when you're retaining the best catcher in baseball, though he might be hurt right now. You've got one of the best hitting outfielders in Bryce Harper. You've got a great team.
Great
just the bullpen was a problem.
Yep.
So I think they're going to bounce back this year and do really well and take the division.
Huh. Over the Mets. You really think so?
Over the Mets. I think the Mets are the Mets, and they're going to Met the bed. I said it, and I said it once. I'll say it again. Not afraid, Brig.
Fine. So this in the Central, I have St. Louis taking the Central.
Hey, me too.
Yay!
I have St. Louis in the Central. Just
steady St. Louis, man.
Yes, steady St. Louis. They're there every year.
What else we need to say?
It's the safest pick in baseball. It's
true. It is so true. And it makes me a little bit sad that it is, but it is great.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Exactly right. Okay, let's go to the NL West.
All right. 3, 2, 1. No, I'm just kidding. I have the Dodgers winning the West.
I have the Dodgers.
Yeah. I figured as much.
The pitching staff, man, that starting rotation, it's not fair. It's not fair to the rest of baseball. We've said it before that I don't know what to do against that. I don't know how anybody wins a game in LA.
In LA. Yeah,
LA. I don't know. Just take the L and go get some tacos. That's what it's going to be.
It's true.
The trip to LA is going to be take the L and go get some tacos. Because they have the best tacos in LA.
Yeah, everybody knows they serve the best tacos in LA.
I'm legitimately curious if anybody gets that reference. We say it at least once an episode.
If you do, jump in the mailbag and let us know. Seriously, You can submit on TikTok now and also to baseballtogether.com. We want to know.
Yeah. Let us know if you know the LA reference because, like I said, we say it all the time. And we make it a point to say it every episode. So
we do.
Right.
And if you do come up with it, then that's what I appreciate about you. So just throw that out there. All right. So
very good. Very good. Okay. Let's go Wildcard. Wildcard. Who's your first National League Wildcard team?
San Diego.
Okay, I have San Diego as well.
Yeah, San Diego.
In
they're
the
going to
wild
make
card.
the wild card. They're going to be that much better than everybody else. It's simple.
Yep. Yeah, I think the NL West is going to be really top heavy with those two teams. That the 3, 4, and 5 is just going to be mush. Whatever, nobody cares. Those two teams are going to run away with it. They're going to have the best 2 records in baseball, in the National League, possibly baseball,
possibly the entire thing. Yes.
It's going to be a heavyweight fight between those two.
Yep.
And I'm looking forward to it every minute.
And then we agree on the National League Wild Cards 2 slot. It's Atlanta.
Yep. I have Atlanta.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Indeedy.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't see Atlanta taking too too big of a step backwards. They're too good. They're too talented, top to bottom.
They're super good. Yep, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
But
for sure,
they're going to lose to San Diego in that wild card game.
I'm sure they will.
They are.
Yeah, because that's the thing is that San
play-
Diego is going to be as good as a division winner, but they're going to be a wild card team only because of circumstance. Only
That's right.
because
They
they're in the
have to
same
be.
division as the Dodgers.
Right. But San Diego's going to have a better record than the team out of the Central or the East.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're going to be a wild
Yeah.
card team because of circumstance, but they're going to have the record of a division winner.
That's right. That's right. So San Diego in the National League Wild Card play-in game, I have San Diego beating Atlanta. You agree?
I totally agree. Yeah, 100%.
All right. So
And
then
then-
the AL Wild Card game, I have New York beating Tampa Bay for the slot.
I have Toronto beating Houston.
Yeah. Okay. So same. So basically, like it falls in line with the same pattern.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So then, who does your AL wildcard team play? Number 1 seed, right?
Number 1 seed. I'm gonna say the number 1 seed is the White Sox. So Toronto's gonna have to play Chicago.
Yeah.
And I want to take Toronto, but Chicago has more experience. Those guys have been in the league longer than the majority of those guys in Toronto.
Yeah.
And also more playoff experience. I'm going to go Chicago over Toronto. Who do you have?
I have New York beating Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I have it broken down in a different way, but you just threw off my whole thing. I have New York
apologize.
playing Toronto in that ALDS, and I have them winning. But if they seed it the way that they should seed it, then that won't happen. The AL wildcard team will play the first seed.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Because they're not doing the pick your opponent thing, which is stupid.
Right, and
So
that's
I'm glad
how
they're
I
not
was
doing
going about this. So I think that the Yankees will beat the White Sox, according to my breakdown.
Okay, so you do have the White Sox as the top seed, right?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So I have the Yankees playing the A's in the other ALDS game.
Okay.
And I think the Yankees will win that one.
And I have Toronto playing Anaheim. Toronto takes it for sure.
Okay.
But I think that ALDS goes all the way to 5 with the New York Chicago, by the way. Let me just say that. I think it takes the entire series to figure that out.
Oh yeah, I could see that for sure. Definitely.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Yeah. All right, so in the ALCS, I have I didn't actually write this down. I'm just kind of figuring this out as we go. I have the White Sox and the Yankees, and I think the Yankees are going to beat the White Sox.
In the ALCS, yeah, I have New York over Toronto in 7. Yeah, I think it's going to.
Sorry, that's not true. That's not true. I read that backwards. I have the White Sox beating the Yankees.
You have the White Sox beating the Yankees?
Yeah.
You just said that to hurt my feelings. You didn't feel that way when you wrote it down first time.
No,
you didn't. Look at you. You're trying to backpedal right now. Look at this. You're just trying to hurt my feelings. on TV. This is not cool.
Look,
You
Brick,
came
I
in
have
here
it. I have
in
it in
broad
there. I forgot
daylight
who I
and
had
you
winning.
scratched my CD. You stole my CD and then you scratched it.
in broad daylight. See, like, I just sent you a screenshot of my picks to show
No.
you that I had the White Sox to begin with.
No, lies.
There.
It's all made up. Baseball family, you heard it here first. Brad's going back on it. No, okay. So you very painfully have Chicago beating New York
Correct. Yes.
for the championship series, the American League Championship Series. No,
That is
okay,
accurate.
Fine. I have New York beating Toronto in, I don't know, probably 6 games. I said 7 earlier, but I think it'll probably be 6.
Well, you can't walk that back now, Brig.
Fine, it's going to take 7, okay? They put Stanton in for a game, and the whole thing fell apart. He came back
That's
to
how it
contribute
goes.
to the team for one day in the playoffs, and they said, put him in, because that's what we're paying him for. And then he mucks it up, and we lose that game. We got to go to 7.
Yep. That's going to
wh-
happen.
That's why.
Yep.
He plays 12 games this season. I don't know. All right.
All right. So we already had our wild card. We had the Padres beating the Braves in the wild card, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And then the other matchup for me would be Philly and St. Louis. I'm going to take Philly in that matchup.
Wait. Philly and St. Louis? Oh, yeah.
Those are the other two teams, yeah.
Because they're
Wait.
seeded.
Oh, no, sorry. Hold on. Sorry. Yeah,
Be
yeah,
number,
yeah.
yeah, you got it right. Yeah, I got it backward.
That would be 2-3. It'd be 2-3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I got Philly beating St. Louis.
Yeah. And I have the
Mets.
well, I think the Cards are going to beat the Mets.
Well, that's what I was trying to figure out who you had playing the Cards. You had the Mets, right?
The Mets playing the Cards. I think the Cards beat the Mets. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. And then we've got the Dodgers playing the Padres,
Yes,
which
sir.
might just be one of the greatest series. Too bad it's only going to be 5 games
I know.
because that deserves to be 7.
It's going to go all 5 though.
I've got. It will, and it'll probably come down to the very end. I'm going to go Dodgers over Padres.
I'm going the other way.
Oh, I would love to see it. I'll be honest.
San Diego beats LA in 5. Yep.
I'd love to see it, but I'm going to go with the Dodgers in that one. So then I have the Dodgers playing the Phillies in the NLCS, and I have the Dodgers winning and going to the World Series.
Yeah, I mean, I could under your warped sense of reality, I could see that happening. I have I have New York playing Toronto in the American League Championship Series. Takes all of 6 games to take care of that series somehow, and then San Diego beats St. Louis in 5.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Just runs them right out in 5.
5 games. San Diego way better than St. Louis. 5 games.
Yeah.
6 games in the ALCS. New York over Toronto to give us a San Diego versus New York World Series, which lasts 6 games.
East Coast, West Coast. Okay. And I've got the Dodgers and the White Sox, with the Dodgers winning in 5.
Wow, just routed.
Yep.
See,
I just
I
feel like they're that much better than anybody in the American League.
They
That was
are.
the thing. Is like it was easy for me to get to the Dodgers in the World Series. The thing that was hard for me was finding who I thought they were going to play.
see, and I just found the best way to get the Dodgers out of the World Series.
It's true. Yeah, that's the only way to get the Dodgers out.
And
is
I
the
think,
Padres.
honestly, the Padres in the World Series against the Yankees are going to win in 6 games. I think the Yankees lose
The
in
Padres
6.
are going to win in 6?
I think so.
Ooh.
I know. Oh,
Okay.
It hurts I feel like I should burn or something for saying that, but I really do think, especially if you consider some sort of mid-season trade, some kind of Rule 5 deal that pans out great or something. I don't know. Who knows? San Diego, could come up with some legitimately amazing depth on top of their star-studded lineup. And I think that will they don't need it mid-season through that first run of the playoffs, second run, but they're going to need that depth and that oddball utility infielder or whatever it ends up being in the World Series against a team like New York or Chicago, and that's when it'll come in handy. But it's going to be that it'll be that months in advance development thing that happens.
Yeah, I could see that. And I just actually had this thought. Just this moment had this thought. When Manny Machado signed with the Padres, he said that the reason he signed with the Padres is because he thought they had a good farm system, and everybody laughed at him.
Right.
Everybody's like, "Yeah, right. It's because they're giving you a bunch of money. That's why you signed. It's not because of the farm system." I wonder if what he was referencing when he said farm system was referencing specifically Fernando Tatis Jr.
Could be.
That he didn't want to call anybody out and name any names that like, hey, I want to play with this guy. Instead, it was just, oh, yeah, I like the farm system.
Yeah.
We'll let everybody sleep on the Padres for a couple of years. I think Manny Machado knew what he was doing.
Oh, for sure. And that 1 year in L.A., that stopover in L.A., was or that playoff run, I guess, was awesome. Smart.
He was like the best player for them.
Yeah.
Most consistent player for them for that playoff run.
Yep. So and it built his brand.
It's going to be
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a good year. It's going to be exciting. 162 games this year. And with COVID vaccines and everything improving, I am confident that we are going to get to see 162 games and a World Series.
Yep. Before the collective bargaining agreement.
And then we'll deal with the collective bargaining agreement. Exactly right.
Who knows what'll happen then?
I'm scared. I'm scared, Brig. I'll be honest.
I am, too.
I'm so scared.
Yeah. That's why I keep bringing it up.
Because
I can't help it.
It could end poorly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what haunts my dreams at night. I wake up in the middle of the night sweating. Collective bargaining agreement.
1994. 1994. No. I know. There's going to be a book. We should write a book.
Oh.
We should write a book called 1994. It'll be very Orwellian. Instead of 1984, it'll be 1994.
That's good.
And the whole thing
I think we should.
will be flashbacks from it'll be a time
2021
travel.
back to 1994.
Yes, it'll be a time travel novel. Whoo! Revolutionary, you might say. And Rob Manfred will be Big Brother.
Do you realize, Brig, we've been at this for almost an hour, and that's the first time we've mentioned his name in this whole thing?
I feel bad almost that I've soiled this experience.
We almost made it.
Oh,
we almost
man.
made it a whole episode.
That's amazing. Well, and with that, baseball family, we would just encourage you to like, rate, review, give us some stars on a place where you have stars to give. And we're really excited that you're here with us. We love doing this. This is episode 95. Can you believe that, Brad? 95.
It seems like it should be episode 25. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, and some of you have been with us the entire time. So I will tell you that we have some exciting things planned for our centennial episode. Can I say that now, Brad? Is it too soon?
No, you can say that. That's fine.
Man.
That's fine. Prime the pump. Get them ready.
Yep.
No problem.
We do. So we have some exciting things for episode 100, and we encourage you to join us for that day and to tell your friends, and we'll give you some more details as we lead up to it in the next couple weeks.
Absolutely. Exciting things for that and beyond. And some exciting things this week. I mentioned the Philly Baseball Together podcast. I mentioned my Seattle Baseball Together podcast. We also have North Chicago Baseball Together. And we also have San Francisco Baseball Together. Go check them out for your favorite team. I got them all put together this weekend and today. And I think I think they're great. Everybody did a great job on them. I'm really excited for what we have coming up. Those are going to be monthly. You can find those the last day of every month during the Major League Baseball season. And if we don't have your favorite team and you want to get involved, reach out through the mailbag. Let us know, and we'll work with you, and we'll give you the platform. You can jump on and do your own Baseball Together podcast for your team.
That's right.
Don't forget to jump on the shop, 9plusus.com, NINEPLUSUS.com. Got great stuff there. Speaking of stuff for your favorite team, we have stuff that is specialized for every Major League Baseball team and the Expos. Some Expos stuff on there still, right?
Correct. Yeah, there are some Expo stuff on there still, yeah.
Yeah, like today I'm wearing my Arizona Baseball Together t-shirt because I can't get enough of Sedona Red. I think I say that every time. It's amazing.
You do.
So
I'm wearing my baseball-themed shirt in the heathered navy, and I love it entirely. It comes on hats as well. It's really exciting. We do snapbacks
nice.
and flex fits, and it's great.
all the good stuff. But baseball family, thank you for joining us. We're looking forward to a very exciting Major League Baseball season coming up this week, and we will catch you next week.